English Teacher, Part 110. When planning directions, test their tone by saying them aloud to yourself. Use directions for the following purpose. Alert your students. A sudden request for attention may interrupt students' activities. To respect your students' concentration on a desk, you can notify them that they should finish their task or at least prepare for an interruption. For example, you might say, "In 5 minutes I shall give you directions for completing your graphs." Secure attention. Begin to give verbal directions only when you have secured the attention of all students to whom you wish to speak. Repeating information because some students were inattentive wastes time and can annoy attentive students. Most students will respond cheerfully to designated signal that clearly requests their immediate attention. Signals useful for alerting students include saying clearly, "May I have everyone's attention, please?" clapping hands, or ringing a bell. Once you have sent a clear signal, you might check for attention by looking around the room to make eye contact with any non-attending individual. Make your meaning clear. Learn to give clear verbal direction requires careful planning and practice, but it is a skill that you should require for student achievement and satisfaction. They are closely related to the clear instruction. Students judge teachers largely by the clarity of their instruction. When you are giving directions for an assignment, be sure to state clearly all its features and requirements, including standards for form, neatness, accuracy, and legibility. Specify the due dates for the submission and the penalties for the late submission or non-completion. Anticipate. Effective direction giving anticipates potential difficulties. When planning directions, identify the language or procedures that your students may find difficult. Simplify the language, choosing synonyms or giving examples, and explain the procedures sequentially. Plan ahead to eliminate frustration. Your students should not have to ask, "Where do I put the assignment now? What do I do now? I have finished. Check up." Never take for granted that your students have understood your directions. Be alert for such signs of uncertainty as a barrage of questions, nudges, talking, or misbehavior. To check for understanding, you might ask one or more questions to review the directions for the class. Avoid such questions as "Does everybody understand? Has anyone a question?" Instead, address questions to individuals, taking care not to embarrass special case students who may need individual help. When your students begin to work, circulate about the room to check that you are getting off on the right foot and they are doing it well. After they have been working for a time, circulate again to see that they are continuing to follow the directions and are progressing satisfactorily. Well, we do have a practice and project. Sit back to back, then begin teaching gymnastics, then rejoin your group, subject interest groups, and so on. And next we have the case study for giving directions. Ms. Hirsch wants to ensure at the very start of the term that her students will make productive use of each of her grade 10 keyboarding classes. She plans to have students begin their work the moment they enter the room rather than waiting for her to provide directions or begin a presentation. Ms. Hirsch walks into the classroom and begins, "When you enter this room, place your books neatly under your chair. Uncover your typewriter, fold the cover neatly, and place it on the top of your books. Look at the upper left hand corner of the front whiteboard.